Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you another battery upgrade. This one is a paid promotion and I'm pretty sure the label has popped up. I'm disclosing it, but it's not quite what you think, not the infomercial that you might be expecting. Stick around.
CQ, this is Kilo Echo 4, Whiskey Mike Foxtrot.
Roger, you are blasting into Ohio 59+20.
Welcome back and thanks for being here. My name is Scott and it wasn't long ago that I shared this battery upgrade. And I did disclose that this has a WattCycle battery in it, but the video was more about the box and how I put it in the car, mounting a little bit of capacity stuff, but not a lot of focus on the battery itself. It was not a paid promotion. I paid for everything out of personal funds, but you've noticed that this video is a paid promotion. It couldn't have been but a couple of weeks after I released the video about this box and WattCycle reached out to me. They wanted to do a collaboration. And I immediately thought, gosh, a day late and a dollar short. I've already bought the battery and paid for everything, so what can you really do for me? And quite frankly, I usually respectfully decline a lot of these offers. What have I been on YouTube for 10 years now, and this is only my third paid promotion. WattCycle reached out and I was curious. At first I thought, I don't need another battery, but who doesn't need another battery? There's always something that we can do with another battery. So I said, all right, what do you have in mind? Here's what I would like if you're willing to swing it. And since I already have a dumb battery, which now they're marketing as a basic, so I have their basic battery, no smart features, no Bluetooth or anything like that. I wanted another one. That way they're a complete match with each other. And they agreed to that. Sent it. Here it is. I haven't even taken it out of the box. And thank you, WattCycle, by the way. Let me get this one out of the way real quick, and then I'll get to it. All right, so in my previous video, I said that box weighs 82 pounds. The battery itself weighs 62 pounds. And so, not prohibitively heavy, but heavy enough to not quite be a, you got to plan ahead so you don't, by lifting weird, you definitely don't want to drop it on your foot. All right, the manual's pretty good, and the packing is excellent too. So nice styrofoam packing there. And I'm just going to lift the battery straight out of here. All right, so here's the battery. I have a Group 48 battery in my car, which is about as large as I can fit. And this battery is larger than that. It is probably 3 inches larger than a Group 48. I want to say it's about 15 inches across, 9 1/4 tall, and about 7 inches deep. This is not a starter battery. Do not put this in your car and attempt to use it like one. It has a 200 amp BMS, and your starter draws far more than 200 amps. Here we go. What else in the box here, just to show you? There's another styrofoam piece in the bottom. Again, this is packaged very well, so even if this package, it's got a little bit of damage on it, this is nothing major. You can see something there. None of it went through, none of the damage went through to the inside of the box. And of course the battery's in pristine shape. These are mounting studs for the terminals, and the terminals do have protective caps on them. This is not the kind of video where I'm going to cut this thing open and show you how it's constructed. I am a user, so I am going to use this battery along with the other one, and I'm going to tell you its features from a user's perspective. I did do a capacity test on the other battery when I've had that battery for about 2 months now. This is March, 3 months. And I did a capacity test on it, and it measured 324 amp hours on the first test and then 322 on the second test. So I'm happy with the capacity, and my max load that I've ever placed on it, I haven't put the full 200 amps on it, and I probably never will. Again, I'm just a regular user. I'm not trying to stress test all of this stuff, and WattCycle knows that I am not putting any of this stuff to a stress test. I'm not cutting anything open. I just said I'm going to talk about the battery. So here it is in my car. I say car, I don't know how many of you are watching this video and maybe you drive an SUV or a small motorhome. I probably use about as much stuff going in my car with all of my ham radio gear, the refrigerator, and occasionally like a hot plate, depending on where I am and what I'm doing. I might be putting the same kind of loads on this battery that you will in your Class B motorhome or off-road vehicle. So I hope this will relate to you. I have probably put about 100 amps on it. In my normal application with my ham radios and stuff, that's usually closer to 50 amps. That's a heavy use application for me, and then ordinarily usually 20 amps maybe. I have run it down pretty good. I haven't run it too deep. I've only depleted it during the 2 capacity tests, and then other than that I maybe have run it down to say 40%. Now when I did the capacity tests, I only put a 10 amp load on it. This is all I have. This is not a high stress test channel. I'm a user, right? I'm not a tester. I think a lot of you have seen these. This can only draw 10 amps. So at 10 amps, it took about a day and a half to finally deplete this thing. 324 amp hours, 24 hours in a day. So I mean, basically, would that be 32 hours, right? So that's about what it took. And then when I recharged, this was not installed in my car. It was sitting on a bench just like this, and I tested it just like this. And so I couldn't charge it at 50 amps like I would with my car. So I plugged it into a 10 amp power supply. So it took another 34 hours to charge it back up. The manual, I said that it's a very well written manual. I only saw a couple of discrepancies in there that bothered me a little bit. So I contacted WattCycle and I said, hey, really 14.6 volts, that's what this thing says the charge to for absorption. And I just think that's too high, because that takes the cells right on up to high voltage cutoff each cell, and all it takes is one cell to cut off the whole battery. So I felt that 14.2 was a little bit more appropriate, and that's actually what they recommended to me without me saying, hey, 14.2 volts. So I charge at 14.2 volts, 0.2 C, where C equals capacity. That is the recommended charging rate for just about any lithium iron phosphate battery. So 314 times 0.2 is 62.5 amps. And oddly enough, that's what the manual says to charge it at, 62.5 amps. Now I don't have anything in my inventory that can charge at that rate. The car on a nice cold day, I can charge at nearly 50 amps, and that's sufficient. What else was in here? Float. In the manual, it says that the BMS balances the cells when the cell voltages exceed around 14.1 volts. And that just seemed too high, so I asked WattCycle about that as well, and they told me that the cells actually balance, they start balancing at 13.6, and so I float at 13.8 volts. Those of you experts who say that is way too high, keep in mind that my battery only gets charged when I'm driving the car, and on the weekends I'll plug the car into an extension cord and leave it on the charger overnight. So once a week, overnight, the battery is forced to float at 13.8 volts. I can't remember if it's 13.8, 13.6. Anyway, it seems high, but it's only for relatively short periods of time, so I don't worry about that too much. Could that be the end of this review? Maybe. Here's my plan. In my other video, I shared that I had been asked, why did you not put that in a roller box? And my answer was, I wanted it to be a pain in the butt for anybody to try to steal it out of the car. It's 82.5 pounds. It's locked down to its mounting bracket. Anything can be stolen with enough time, privacy, and tools. So I know I can't completely prevent it, but I can make it really difficult. So if I felt that if I put it in a wheeled roller, that it would make it too easy. So that one's not in a roller, but this one will be. I have an inventory of Husky build-out tool cases, like this one here. This battery will eventually go into here. And I'm going to build it into like a power station. Although WattCycle provided this battery. The cost of the battery is only about half of the cost of building the box. You got to remember there's 2-watt wire in this box, a smart shunt, some bracing, a heater in that box. This box won't have a heater in it. The battery is only about half the cost of everything else. The box itself has a cost as well. And so I'm not going to be ready to share this box for quite a while. And I informed WattCycle that I'm not just going to make one video for them. I'm making this video. This video is kind of the data of it is kind of done here, but I'm just telling you what I'm going to do with this battery. So I'm going to put it in the box. This box is 3 inches taller than that box, and so I think that I'm going to have room to put a home charger in it so that I can plug it in and charge it in the house. And I think I'm going to be able to fit a voltage inverter in it. 2,000 watts, 3,000 watts, I don't know. So I got to see what will fit. And with that, I can use this as a, say like a UPS for my computer. I can plug a refrigerator into it when we lose power. I'm in a hurricane prone area, so I do like the idea of having backup power. Right now I've got a Jackery and a Goal Zero that I use to power my refrigerators. But this battery is going to give me more, I think. This is 4,000 watt hours, where the Goal Zero is 3,000 and the Jackery is 2,000. So this, I think, will be wonderful. I think in June I will publish the video about the way this turned out as a portable power station. Is that what they're called? Power stations. So that's the goal. This paid promotion, let me tell you, well, WattCycle is getting the video from me. That's their end of it. I'm of course getting a battery, and since I already bought one, that means that I kind of got the pair at half price, I guess. I'm happy with that arrangement. And WattCycle has also given me a discount code that you can use. When I was shopping for that battery on my own, we all like to shop on Amazon, maybe not everybody, but I do. I'm an Amazon shopper. But the Amazon store adds quite a good amount of money on top of the price that WattCycle wants. I want to say that right now, this battery costs $50 more on Amazon than it does if you just go right to the WattCycle website and order it from them. But on top of that savings, if you go right to the WattCycle website, affiliate link below, there's a discount code that you can type in there, and I believe they knock off 8%. So the price on the WattCycle website is already lower than Amazon, and then you can get an additional 8% knocked off of that. So go check it out. WattCycle has a really good reputation. Will Prowse, if you've ever heard of him, he is a lithium iron phosphate battery testing fiend. He has cut open all these batteries, and he's got a really good video where he cuts this battery open, and the build quality inside is impressive. It's one of the reasons why I went with this brand instead of, well, I'm not naming anybody else, but I had considered other brands and went with WattCycle almost entirely based off of his recommendation in his teardown video. Let me know if you have questions. There has to be something that I missed, and if I did, comment below and I'll be sure to include that in the follow-up video that I hope to release in June. As always, I appreciate you being here, and I'll see you next time. Take care.